before we start, did you want to do a little meditation? Or?
Yeah. Well, let me just see. I'm getting for us to just really together come into a state of calm and set the space with the intention of allowing what's in the highest good for all concerned to come forward.
Okay.
And to have a clear transmission of the 11th dimensional Arcturian energy. Would you like me to just kind of guide us through?
Yeah, let's guide it through.
Okay. So just find a comfortable position, allow your hands to face open, and allow for alignment in your spine and the back of your neck, just to kind of open a channel there of energy. And we'll just begin by visualizing the space, kind of a circle around the space, glowing with white light. That's just a light of purification, and setting the space for truth, love, and that which is in the highest good of all concerned to take place. And calling upon the angelic presences to assist us here in holding this vibration. The Arcturians always, in coming through, in my experience, always kind of come through paired with angelic energies. They work very closely together. So the angelic presences are here just to facilitate this energy coming in, and they want us to know that this is a process that is happening through both of us, and that they will be guiding you, Reuben, as well. And really just for both of us to be present in our hearts with what our intention is and with what this service means in terms of how we can assist humanity. And I also feel them truly thanking you for what you're creating and allowing to happen through you. And they would like for you to experience that acknowledgement in your heart. And just breathe into that for a few moments. And they're saying that the core of this intention to be of service is really the energy on which what you're creating rides. And there's a blessing extending through this project and through us here at this time, through all involved, through all who view this creation. There's a blessing being extended for the recognition and resonance of the truth in the hearts of all involved. Oh, I would like to add, just for the sake of those viewing and for you, that this energy I often experience and visualize as a silvery blue. It's very angelic, celestial, and again is often paired with a white angelic energy as well. Oftentimes I visualize it as a cylinder of silvery blue energy surrounded by kind of a cloud of white. So this calling the energy in this way really assists in the clearest connection. And the angelic presences also assist the individual in raising their own frequency to make clear contact. So, Reuben, they're showing me your heart. They're asking me to let go of any mental filters that I'm placing on what's coming through. And what they're telling me is that questions are most powerful when felt in your heart. As the answers are most powerful when felt in your heart. Showing me a stream of energy through the heart which connects into all layers of reality. That by riding on this stream of energy, one penetrates the truth of all levels.
Ever wonder if there's intelligent life elsewhere in the universe? Well, I have. I've been wondering since I was a kid. My name is Reuben Langdon, and on March 29th, 2007, in the middle of the day, I saw a number of strange objects in the sky. Coincidentally, I was working on the film Avatar at the time, playing an alien. And ever since then, I've been on a quest to find out if aliens really do exist, and if so, are they here, with us? If beings of higher intelligence are here, what is their purpose? Why don't they make themselves more known? Why the secrecy? I've asked these questions to many experts, yet each seems to have a different theory. So I thought to myself, why not ask the aliens directly? So that's what I set out to do. Well, sort of.
Welcome back. Speaking of the heart, maybe that's where we'll start the first question. My understanding is that the fourth density, or this space where we are right now in humanity, we're moving into this heart-centered density, maybe correlating with chakras, going into the higher densities. How does the heart-centered come into play? Because if you're in your, let's say, fifth or sixth density consciousness up here, then where's the heart lie in that? Do you go beyond the heart? How does that work?
What we offer from our perspective is that the energy that comes through the heart as the center, often there's a hierarchy that is constructed through the human mind and the mind of other beings, in which there is a sense of a destination, in which ascension is framed in terms of moving upwards. And what we propose to you at this time is that the process of ascension is not moving anywhere. That truly the process of ascension is coming into the realization of what already is here and now in the center. So as this relationship to the heart develops in the human system, there will be an acknowledgement of the heart as the center. There will be an attunement to the heart as the authority for those who wish to have the experience of love, for those who wish to ascend, as many refer to it. We have, through our evolution as Arcturians, much of the reason why we come into contact at this time with humanity is that we have also experienced this ascension process in which many of the beings residing in our system have held the same intention, therefore have been able to experience this awakening together. Within our system, we have undergone an evolutionary process much like that on Earth. Therefore, we're here at this time to reinforce the importance for those who wish to experience love to truly focus on the heart and focus on what is present here and now in the heart.
So the Arcturian energies that I'm speaking with be considered a collective of beings as opposed to a single being?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a dimensional realm? I've spoken in the past to 9th dimensional Pleiadians, 12th dimensional Pleiadians. Is there a dimensional realm which this energy I'm speaking with resides in?
11th and moving into 12th.
11th and moving into 12th. During the ascension of this collective, going back into, let's say, 3rd to 4th density or 4th to 5th dimension, as we are sort of moving into that evolutionary process, what were some of the similarities in that evolution that we could maybe compare or check notes? Where are we at?
And to set the clarity of this, we will speak in terms of time as it's perceived by humans.
Okay, great.
With our process, what we began to see was as individuals would formulate a similar intention for a similar type of experience, as that is truly all that is taking place with all beings. All beings are emanations of divine presence who are choosing to have various experiences from various perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
As beings within our system began to align in their intention, they began to form into groups.
Mm-hmm.
And within these groups, there was an acceleration. And we're beginning to see that occurring on planet Earth as well. There has been, in the past, tribal groups that did a lot of this work together. And over time, many societies on your planet have lost this sense of grouping.
Mm-hmm.
It has become much more emphasized to live a singular life. Many beings now are reawakening their deep, deep desire to be in connection in this way and experiencing the benefit of coming together in these groups as the acceleration of their awakening. Within the Arcturian system, we experienced a great reprogramming. We did have minds similar to humans.
Mm-hmm.
What we did, the primary shift that we made through our intention was to shift into our hearts.
Mm.
And yes, Arcturians, as well as other beings who are coming into contact with Earth, do have hearts. And in fact, the existence of these hearts is primarily what is bringing us into contact. There is a stream of energy that is creating an energetic constellation in which all of these beings are evolving together.
Would this be, so as you mentioned, you're going from 11th to 12th, is this across our universe that all beings are sort of evolving at this state? I've heard from other beings too that they're going from 5th to 6th or 6th to 7th. It seems to be a theme with many of these interviews I'm doing that they reside in a specific dimension or density, but they're in transit as we are. Is this a time of transit for all beings in this galaxy?
It is constant.
Okay.
And with the dimensions are also expanding. Therefore, as we articulated before, there is no destination. Something we would also like to emphasize at this time, as many humans are awakening to our presence and awakening to multidimensional versions of themselves, is that within this hierarchy, this is a construct of the mind. This is a construct which is fueled by the energy of better, worse, good, bad, wanting to be perhaps somewhere that is not resided in yet. And we really encourage the humans who are framing dimensionality in this way to really let go of this. We are residing from another perspective. We are seeing things in a different way than many of the beings currently on this planet. And there is no sense from our perspective of our perspective being superior in any way.
Mm-hmm.
As we interact with humans, we also evolve through our service, and we very much respect and admire the human experience. We revere you just as you revere us.
Do Arcturians have as many silly moments that we do in our Earth realms? Because there's some really ridiculous things that happen, at least from our perspective, in our day-to-day lives, from interacting with animals to each other to, silly jokes, those kinds of things. Does that happen in the Arcturians' perspective?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We experience it in a different way.
Sure.
Perhaps the outward expression of it is different. However, we associate humor with the heart as well, with the ultimate state of joy.
Physically, I've seen pictures of beings, Arcturian beings, sort of looking similar to what we would call the Zeta Reticuli gray beings, but with a bluish sort of color skin. Is this an accurate representation?
Your question really speaks to how we appear to humans.
Correct, yes.
Many do experience us as blue.
Okay.
We sometimes experience each other as blue because of the light frequency emitting from our energetic bodies.
Could you tell us the differences and similarities of the Sirius energies and the Arcturian energies?
Sirius is much more varied than the energy that many may experience from Arcturus. Arcturus has experienced a great sense of unification, whereby there may be a varied experience from the 5th dimensional Arcturians to, for example, the 11th dimensional Arcturians. We tend to appear, our energy tends to manifest for humans as silvery blue. We also appear often taller in the way that humans view us than 5th dimensional Arcturians. And with Sirians, there is much more variation.
I see. They sort of refer to Arcturians as the spiritual masters of our universe, of a higher on the evolutionary scale, especially in the realms of spirituality.
Often this is referred to because within Arcturus we place a great importance through our collective intention and disposition on awakening. Therefore, we have a very strong lineage. The way that you experience perhaps a Buddhist lineage of teachers or a Christian lineage of teachers with disciples, this sort of system is very strong in Arcturus. So what often occurs is beings from various places will come to Arcturus and involve themselves in the Arcturian system, the Arcturian lineage, in order to experience higher dimensions. The space in which we reside in the 11th dimension, as we move into the 12th, we experience much interaction with many of those who you may refer to as masters.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the beings who have incarnated on Earth, such as Jesus, are beings who it is often referred to by humans as that they have ascended from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
However, from another perspective, they have come from this space and visited Earth during very critical times. Therefore, we do experience much interaction with these beings in partnership with us.
You, for example, Anna mentioned the relationship with the angelic realms.
Yes.
So there's, I assume there's a strong tie with Arcturus and the angelics.
Yes, very strong. In fact, many humans who interact with us may at times be unsure of whether they're interacting with an angelic presence or an Arcturian, because the lines between these distinctions become blurred in this space. However, there is a distinction between us and the angelic presences, for we have experienced being incarnate.
Right. Where angelics sort of never went through that evolutionary phase. A different sort of path.
Yes.
Do angels, do they evolve, or they just are? I've always wondered that. Do they have a sort of an evolutionary stage that they go through, or they just...
Yes.
They do. Okay. Interesting.
It is quite different from what humans refer to as evolution.
Right.
It is more like what we experience as well, in which it's about our vibration and the way in which we perceive and interact with our surroundings. But the difference between these states becomes much more subtle.
I see. Going back to what you just mentioned, Arcturus, would it be sort of like humans going to Tibet to study, or would they just check in, say, hey mom, I'm going to go do a pilgrimage in Arcturus, I'll see you in a few years? Does that happen?
What occurs is that beings, in a sense, take form as an Arcturian.
I see. Oh, okay. So they actually incarnate as an Arcturian and then go back to wherever they came from after that life.
Many remain Arcturian.
Oh, interesting. Have I had this pilgrimage in a Arcturian? Yes. Okay, interesting. I wanted to ask about some of the things I've heard about the technology through Arcturus, and that seems to be sort of used throughout the galaxy. Something I've read before called the Arcturian stargate. Could you go into detail about what this is and how it might be used here and in other parts of our galaxy?
This is the space which is held with very strong energy through our masters, as you may call them.
Okay.
This is a space which is held, we hold it in much reverence, as a space in which we choose to come to planet Earth. When an Arcturian chooses to come to planet Earth to take human form, they will spend time, as you may call it, in this space, becoming clear on some level of their consciousness what they will be doing on Earth. And this is not only for Arcturian beings. However, it originally was within our system, and we have curated it, and it has changed hands in some sense.
I see.
And through this, we have opened this space to be of assistance to many beings who are coming to the planet. Yes.
Is it the technology used for souls to be born on this planet, to come into existence on this planet by all beings, or are there other technologies involved?
There are various experiences that beings will go through in coming to the planet. This is not the only way. This is not the only passageway onto the planet. However, many of the beings who are involved in the collective galactic activity on planet Earth will come through this gateway for preparation.
I see. Dolores Cannon wrote a lot about different waves of beings coming in at this time to assist in the ascension of planet Earth into this higher dimension, higher density, higher frequency. She mentioned these different waves of beings, and a sort of a distress call went out into the galaxy, and all of these beings kind of came in and said, hey, we're going to select souls are going to incarnate at this time to help and assist with this ascension. Is this primarily what this Arcturian stargate is used for, these souls that are coming in to help with the ascension of the planet at this time? Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So not all souls would be using this technology. This is specifically for raising the vibration. Souls that are sort of here to raise the vibration of the planet.
That's correct.
The concept and the idea of we've had multiple lives on this planet. Sometimes people say, well, I'm from Arcturus, or I've had this soul incarnation on Arcturus. In my last life, I was from Arcturus. How does that work when also in my last life, I've been incarnated here on Earth?
Yes.
Or I've had thousands of incarnations on this Earth, but yet I'm still part of this new wave of energy coming through to assist in the ascension of Earth. Can you help define and maybe explain this?
Yes.
Okay.
Often from the human perspective, there is the sense of soul, that there is the level on which you are incarnated as a human being, and then there's a level of soul, and then there is God. This is, in a sense, one perspective. We offer another perspective in which there are various levels of self, so that the soul becomes a concept that is much more intricate than how it is currently framed on Earth through many of the religious traditions in existence. This will likely begin to shift as humans come into the experience of their galactic nature, and experience that while they may have various lifetimes on Earth incarnated, that there is a stream of energy, a stream of identification, a stream of self which runs through these Earth incarnations. And that this actually is one level of self. On the galactic level, there may be the experience of another level of self. For example, where time spent as an Arcturian is viewed as one galactic lifetime. There could be another lifetime as a Pleiadian, for example.
I see.
Therefore, the galactic lifetimes are experienced on another level of self. And this is what we're moving into now. Many of those who have strong galactic ties will begin to experience their earthly incarnations as one level on which many are coming to completion. Many of the beings on Earth at this time are coming to completion of their earthly karma. And through this completion is often the awakening into the galactic self.
I see.
And the experience of this other level of self.
I see.
Often this is referred now as soul. However, as we mentioned earlier, there are various levels of soul, and this will continue to be experienced as a never-ending opening to definitions and perspectives of self that are more inclusive, as the ultimate inclusion is that of oneness.
In past interviews, the term oversoul was often used, and I think the way you were describing it, the way I could put it in my own sort of mental terminology, was that the oversoul has many fractalized versions of itself. One version is on Earth, going through that whole Earth ascension process. Another version of it is on Arcturus or the Pleiades star system. Yes. And then as we've, like you said, sort of gone through the human process, we can now reconnect to our oversoul, which then connects us to all these other individual fractalized soul consciousnesses, hence the Arcturian experience, and then having sort of bleed-throughs of these other experiences in remembering where we come from, in essence. In essence, we've always come from Earth. This fractalized version of us has always been here on Earth, but this oversoul may have more fractalized versions of itself in Arcturus or Pleiades. That way, for that reason, we sort of lean towards one galactic system, or...
It is similar. It is referring to the same phenomenon, yes.
Would there be other oversouls that actually have more fractalized Earth souls in it, so that therefore that oversoul tends to be more human in nature than Arcturian, or is it sort of all evenly balanced between all the oversouls?
Yes, various individuals, as we may call them, on some level, have more experience in various places. Some humans will feel resonance with various galactic systems. Some will feel resonance with none. And in this case, it may be that there is not much experience in other systems, at least known systems that are interacting and awakening these energies on the planet. And if they are not experiencing much resonance with galactic systems, it is that they either have not connected with these systems in their own experience, or that it is not in service to them during this lifetime, at this time, to awaken into that memory.
I see. So we used to, not so much anymore, because I think we're becoming more familiar with the terminologies, but we used to say, you're an old soul. That sort of idea we have to throw out the window, because everybody's sort of an old soul in some galactic way, whether it's here on Earth or some other formation, right?
Yes, this is a phrase often used by humans to indicate wisdom.
Right.
Yes.
But we're all wise, because we've all had lives everywhere at some point.
Yes.
Awesome.
And actually, the experience of these lifetimes, in the ultimate sense, it is a choice. All perspectives are accessible. All beings are choosing to have an individuated experience as God. God choosing to experience itself from various perspectives. Therefore, the more we awaken out of our limitations, the more we have access to experience any perspective. And through the realization of this, there is much of the hierarchy and sense of some perspectives being better than others falls away.
Getting back to the technology side of things, artificial intelligence, which is sort of a big topic that humanity is facing right now, because we're on that verge of creating some really interesting technologies. From the Arcturian perspective, I'd like to hear your thoughts about technology, and does it have any correlation with the human experience.
This term artificial is actually a term that in some sense is inaccurate. We would pose the question to one curious about artificial technology, what does artificial mean when they refer to it?
My understanding now of artificial intelligence is everything consciousness is, everything is conscious. So in reality, we don't really have artificial intelligence. Everything is consciousness and everything is sort of alive. And what we perceive artificial intelligence is machines that have the computing capacity to think and then form emotions and be sort of sentient from our perspective, from the human perspective.
The main thing to bring forward in service to humans around this at this time is that many of you have a deep discomfort with this concept. And we propose that this discomfort is addressed, that there may be a greater sense of openness, peace, and harmony within humans towards this, as we see your society also moving in the direction of creating such technology. This is an opportunity for humans to trust themselves, to align within themselves with their intentions in the creation of such technology. Within the Arcturian system, we have created some such technology, and it has been with the alignment and intention with the highest good of all beings. Therefore, it is important to address this intentionality with the creation of this technology at this time on your planet. We hope that we can serve as an example in this way, and the primary quality that we would like to bring forward in this vein is alignment.
Yeah, it's sort of been coined and termed in our terminology as a double-edged sword, something that could create and cause much harm, but also create a lot of benefit and amazing things.
Yes, as you've seen on your planet, the technological advances have been extremely beneficial, and there have been other uses of technology, such as nuclear weaponry, which are created with an intention that is not aligned with the energy of the heart.
So as long as we infuse good intentions as we're creating these objects, then they'll be sort of there holding that frequency and doing good things for us.
What you will see is with this intention, we speak from experience in sharing that with this intention, the creation of technology is divinely inspired, and it assists in beings to truly allocate their time and energy in new ways. You can see with various forms of technology that it is replacing the occupations of many humans at this time to allow for new spaces for the human experience and the human engagement, where much of the energy that has been expended by humans in the past is now taken care of through this technology.
This fear of the technology, is it because of Earth's past experiences with destroying itself, hurting itself, doing not so good things to itself with these technologies?
Much of this fear has been present in the past, particularly in the experience of Atlantis.
I see. So I'm assuming in that time period we did have artificial intelligence of some sorts?
What you refer to as artificial intelligence, there was a movement in this direction in Atlantis, yes. And this led to, in a sense, the destruction of the Atlantean society. Many of those who experience this discomfort will find it a blessing to have this resurface at this time, because there will be a great amount of freedom in releasing the disturbance of that memory. Yes.
It's said that humanity has sort of gone through this up and down phase of creating itself, destroying itself, creating itself, destroying itself.
When you refer to this cycle of destruction, what events are you referring to?
Particularly Atlantis. Some people term Lemuria as also a time sort of wave or cycle where humanity, or Lemuria, and humanity was known as Lemuria at a time, where it also destroyed itself and just left pockets of beings that were then going through this start and stop evolutionary process again.
This was a time when there was interaction of various beings coming into the planet, and which there was some sense of discord. This resulted in the shifting with the Lemurian society, which was much more graceful, as you might say, than the Atlantean society's shift. This did result from the interaction of various beings, some which came to the planet with intentions which were not in alignment with those who were residing in Lemuria at the time.
So old Earth is sort of known as Lemuria at one point?
The original humanoid civilization on Earth was Lemuria, yes.
I see.
Often this is referred to in this, similarly to Atlantis, as a physical society. From our perspective, this society was more like what many of the extraterrestrial races experience, which is multidimensional, and in which there is some sense of physicality, but is very different than what is currently experienced on Earth.
And for whatever reason, that evolutionary process, humanity, Lemuria, decided to take a different path in its evolution and sort of get cut off from these multi-dimensional awarenesses. And that's sort of how we ended up where we are now.
Many of these beings decided to take part in the creation of Atlantis. There was a great migration through the country that you now refer to as Brazil. There was a great migration and the depositing of many crystals in this place, which hold much information and which many of you may find yourselves coming into contact with again. This migration took place in order for there to be a reinstatement of those who were in alignment with a similar intention. And this took place quite rapidly.
During the Atlantean times, at the end of Atlantis.
This was the transition from Lemuria to Atlantis.
To Atlantis, I see. So the Lemurian technologies utilized a lot of crystal energies, crystal technologies?
This was more emphasized in Atlantis, but yes, this was part of the Lemurian culture, you might say. Lemuria was, in a sense, more focused on a tribal group gathering. And this is actually reminiscent of many of the other star systems which these beings came from. Within the Arcturian system, there is an emphasis on coming into groups and group consciousness. This was very present in Lemuria and became less present in Atlantis.
I see. Did it become less present in Atlantis because of other energies that were coming in to merge with this Lemurian energy? Some say the Alpha Draconian energies were sort of what kind of came in and destroyed Atlantis. Is that?
There was some influence of this, yes.
I see.
However, we would like to emphasize that within this memory embedded in the consciousness of many of those who had this experience, there has been a framing of it that is very, what you might refer to as black and white.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to emphasize the benefit of remaining open
Mm-hmm.
in how one relates to the various beings involved, as from a higher perspective, these are merely reflections. It is important to resist the human temptation to frame the occurrences that have taken place in very simplistic terms.
Mm-hmm. The knee-jerk reaction to put blame on certain individuals, so to say.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is very important if one wants to experience higher truth,
Mm-hmm.
to truly look and recognize how one is relating to these beings, including the Draconians and those beings that often have some confusion in terms of their intentions.
Is this sort of Alpha Draconian integration with humanity part of the grand experiment of the human evolutionary experiments of experiments?
This is very important at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you for asking this question. What you may see is many of those who have experience with the reptilians, as you may call them. We will refer to them as Draconians.
Mm-hmm.
There are beings similar to these, and actually these beings who have resided in other star systems as well. So this is a simple way to refer to them.
Mm-hmm.
You may begin to see individuals who have experience with these frequencies, who have resided or are residing now, and where there is a shift taking place. It is important to remember that as this is a natural part of the evolution taking place, this is a natural part of all of the energies coming to Earth, coming together and relating to one another. It is important to remember that just as one addresses their inner energies from a place of love, from a place of compassion, from a place of acceptance, that this is how we are relating to these beings as well. Often there is a tendency at present with humanity to have an emphasis on shifting, have an emphasis on changing. We hear humans often say, I want to change the world, and we understand and honor the intention beneath this. We also encourage those who feel that they have a strong sense of a mission to change the world in this way. We encourage them to get in touch with what energies are at play inside of themselves, and to really let go of anything that is not coming from a place of love and acceptance. These beings are being shifted through the energy of love and through the energy of acceptance. This is the greatest service that we can provide to them and to the parts of ourselves that they are reflecting.
So instead of fighting fire with fire, so to say, we just love them for who they are and not get bent out of shape?
Yes, and as there may be some experiences of interaction, we emphasize attending to any fears and disturbances that come through those experiences, as this is the greatest form of awakening, to release any disturbances that are present, as well as to extend love to these beings, extend a sense of inclusion, recognizing that there is oneness, as well as clarifying the intention and the energies with which one would like to align to facilitate the experience that they would like to have. We do see that when humans are aligning with the energies, the Draconian energies, there can be an experience of confusion. There can be an experience in which one is distracted in some sense from what one would truly like to experience. So it is important to come from a place of love, as well as have a sense of alignment with what energies now in this moment would the individual like to align with to come into a greater experience. Whatever energies one aligns with, one will integrate these energies and come into an experience more similar to the beings who are in alignment with these energies as well.
So we're not doomed to the Alpha Draconian experience just because that's what we may see in our governments and our politics, our other institutions. Just because that's happening over there doesn't necessarily mean we can sort of do our own thing within that exists at the same time.
What we emphasize at this time to humanity is the movement beyond duality, the movement beyond viewing the world as needing to be any different than it is. We encourage humans to come into a place of seeing oneness, seeing inclusion, having a sense of identity that is beyond the personal self, to include all, to notice how one is relating to all aspects of themselves within this definition, and to view what is as perfect. Through this is what shifts one's consciousness.
Along these lines, there's a lot of issues right now with environmental toxins, food, particularly with food, with animals being factory farmed, vegetables and corn being genetically modified. How does this affect this whole ascension process? Is it part of the process? Has it been sort of designed to boost us in our evolution? And what's the Arcturian perspective on just overall health and how someone is supposed to navigate and take care of themselves with all of this toxicity in our environment?
We offer to you that soon these concerns will be transcended, where they will no longer be as relevant as they appear to be now. We also offer that they appear to be relevant for a purpose, that each individual must get in touch with what is resonant for them in terms of lifestyle. And we see, when we look at the global energetic state, we see that tied through these issues is an immense energy of victimization. We encourage humans to address this, to look at how they are utilizing these issues to reinforce any sense of victimization, which may result from various experiences. We encourage humanity to truly address their emotional material in relation to this, as through shifting this material, there will be new experiences in the physical world that will be supportive. And we encourage you to see that whatever conditions are there at present are also supportive, though often supportive in a way that is difficult for humanity to recognize at its current state of consciousness.
When you say victimization, just to clarify a little bit for the audience, how is having genetically modified foods and factory farming creating a victimization paradigm? I'm trying to find the connection. I think I can kind of see it, but just to hear it clarified a little bit more.
What we see is that this condition is present in service to many individuals to assist them in addressing how they are relating to the conditions on your planet at this time.
I see.
which often will be tied into very deep emotional material.
So in essence, getting sick from the foods, having adverse health effects sort of prompts them into a taking charge of their own lives situation, where they might do the research, where they might, instead of listening to the doctor or listening to the grocery store, they might actually empower themselves by taking ownership of their own health. Is that one way?
Yes, and attuning to the body, the physical form, the intelligence that lies within the physical structure. Yes.
If we have something that's going on in our bodies in a physical manifestation, does it ultimately go back to a psychological, energetic problem? Is all physical imbalance 100% completely related to mental, emotional distress?
We address this question in saying that when one experiences a physical phenomenon, that it is always in service to that being. From the perspective of awakening, there is always a purpose for every experience. This does not mean that there is a direct, simplistic cause, as you might call it, from the psychological realm. However, there is always purpose in what is experienced. The interaction, as you might frame it, between the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual realms or manifestations of energy, these are intricate and these are related in a way that humanity is very intrigued by at this moment and is an area of great exploration at this time. We offer that from the perspective of awakening, with the intention of awakening, that all of the physical experiences that a human may experience may be seized as opportunity to awaken spiritually.
So basically, case by case, but yet any sort of resistance is sort of a universal way of saying, hey, we need to look at something here. There's something that is needing attention.
We would frame it not as need.
Okay.
However, within the individual experiencing this phenomenon, there may be the desire to open into a greater perspective through the experience, yes.
So there's opportunities in everything, even the pain or suffering of a physical situation. And not opportunities to be exploited like some other people may phrase it, but an opportunity for individuals to grow and expand. And basically there's good in everything.
This is the truest, deepest message that we can offer at this time, is that the transcendence of duality truly involves this, truly involves the acceptance of various experiences without judgment. This is not a new concept to humanity.
Right. So, but just a nice reminder. So when we're going through those hardships and those pains, then we can say, there's something good in here. There's an opportunity here for me to have something better, or otherwise it wouldn't be happening, I'm assuming.
Yes, and this will instill a sense of trust, which many humans at this time who do not have a sense of an intelligence through all experience and through all life, it will assist them in coming into a greater sense of trust and acceptance for what is, knowing that it is in support of them.
I feel that, yeah, for sure. Since I've sort of adopted that philosophy of more recently, sort of reminding myself every time there's some sort of resistance or bumps in the path, so to say, and it's been quite nice to have that perspective. It's the bumps don't last long.
Yes.
Yeah. How about DNA, physical DNA in our third density reality? Does that Arcturian DNA exist, or maybe it's not even DNA, maybe it's something else? Is there an energy DNA, or?
There is some, however, not to the degree that other beings have incorporated physically. There is, however, much what you have referred to as spiritual DNA that is of Arcturian nature. As beings on your planet begin to experience activations, this is what they experience, the activation of the spiritual DNA. Many beings may experience various aspects of their energetic bodies activated through various star systems.
Activated through various star systems. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? How do other beings activate their DNA through other star systems?
For example, Anna experiences Syrian activation in the hands and feet. This means that where there is a benefit to calling upon these energies from other versions of oneself, one may bring this energy into the human incarnation as well.
What are some examples of things that ones can do to access this spiritual energy, particularly associated with the Arcturian frequency?
How may one initiate contact?
Yes.
This is a two-sided process in which there is an initiation of contact from the Arcturian beings, as well as a match within the energetic resonance of the human. Therefore, this may be experienced spontaneously for many beings as they come into an energetic resonance. This is also in accordance with the timing of when it is of most service for that being to experience this. Therefore, we encourage beings not to try to initiate this contact only when it feels that they are guided within their hearts to come into this experience, that the timing is right for this. To initiate this, one may do the visualization that we have provided in terms of visualizing the silver blue light. We encourage those who feel a resonance in this moment and hearing this information, those who feel a resonance with this, to initiate this contact.
I see.
This involves visualization. This involves coming into alignment within one's physical and energetic body, opening a space there and welcoming in this energy. Also, we encourage those who practice this to call upon angelic assistance in this process.
So in some ways, maybe the angelic connection can get us close to that frequency of the Arcturian frequency to connect us.
This does serve to enhance those frequencies within the individual that will facilitate contact. It also serves to create a space for this contact in which other beings are not interacting as well.
Is there a specific angelic resonance, or all of it in general? For example, we have Michael, we have Gabriel, Raziel.
We do work closely with Metatron.
I see.
During this process, it is sufficient to call upon angelic energy and to visualize white light. This does not need to be specific to any particular archangel.
I see.
We also wish you to know that opening to these energies does connect you with others who are as well, that there is a network, that opening to these energies does bring you into resonance with various other beings with which you may work together, with which you may serve together, and with whom you may form incredible relationships with that you may find very deeply fulfilling. We see this as one of the beautiful benefits of our interaction at this time on your planet.
Excellent. Thank you.